Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of Wolves Wednesday, or in this new format. So today's video is going to all be about the defence, or looking at the defence and looking at where perhaps they can improve after a poor performance in the first two games. I think we can, well, not poor, but poor in terms of their previous showings over last season. They didn't perform as well as they did last season in the first two games. Surprising weak performances from Willy Boly and from Connor Cody, Matt Doherty. So yeah, we'll just give it a couple of seconds while some people come on. We have just put in the comments there in the chat. What do we think of the new old gold and black logo designed by a friend of mine who used to go to school with? So yeah, not that I'm looking at. Well, I don't know. I was going to mention merchandise. I don't think anybody's actually interested in buying stuff with my name on it, are they? Nathan, hello. How are you doing? So yeah, looking forward now to the game on Saturday against Manchester City, the first real big team to come to Molineux this season. And another really tough test. We haven't had a particularly easy start to the season, really. If you think about it, we had Everton, who were a team, although a team in transition, a really good team, lots of new signings, a new manager, eager to impress on the first game of the season. And Leicester, champions from 2 seasons ago, and yeah, it just looked. They've got every team has had much more Premier League experience than we have. It's been difficult to cope, I think, at the moment for Wolves. We'll see. We'll get there. But yeah, I've been watching the Manchester City documentary this week, All or Nothing Manchester City on Amazon Prime. Very good. I recommend it for any football fan. Excuse me. But yes, definitely. It's interesting to watch, even though it's a opposition documentary. You imagine what it would be like as a Wolves documentary and watching Nuno talking to the players and stuff. I think it would be excellent to watch that. Good evening, Wilfredinho. Hello. Quite a few people coming in now. Do I know if Dendoncker is playing on Saturday? I believe that he's now fit to be playing, but whether or not he comes into the team straight away, I don't know. Perhaps into the squad. Some people are mentioning that Moutinho should be dropped in favour of Dendoncker. Tim Spears as well being quite adamant in that Dendoncker is going to come in as a centre midfielder. Now, I personally can't see that. I would rather him come into the back three. I think that's the area of the pitch that needs strengthening the most. I think Moutinho and Neves are two excellent centre midfielders. We need to improve the back three. That's what I would do. At the moment, I think I would be inclined to take Cody out and put Dendoncker in, but I know that's not a very popular thought, and it's not. It's probably not the best thing to do after the first 3 games to take the captain out of the team. So I think he probably, when we signed him, everybody thought he was going to play right centre back, but you're not going to take out Bennett at the moment. He's been superb. So I don't know. It's very tricky to see where Dendoncker is going to fit in, but he will fit in. If you're buying a player, or initially loaning him, whatever, for that amount of money, enormous amount of money, you're not going to not play him. Bennett for England, maybe. Good about the Leicester loss. Couldn't have done much more, really. No, other than put our chances away. That's what we're going to have to learn how to do, because we made so many chances, particularly in that first 20 minutes. You just got the feeling that we were going to lose that game with the chances that we were missing. Moutinho out and Dendoncker in. Need some steel in centre midfield. Now, we'll probably touch on this a little bit more in a minute, but Moutinho is a class above everybody else. Neves to Manchester City. I can't see that happening this season. I can't see it happening. I can't see. I'd imagine there'd have been some sort of gentleman's agreement with Wolves, which Tim Spears has mentioned in the past. But of course, he's going to attract attention from those elite clubs, and of course, he would want to go and play for Manchester City. And having watched that documentary last week, why, every footballer in the world must want to go and play for Guardiola and for Manchester City. Looks like an amazing place to work. But I think that Neves will be at Wolves for this season, and then depending on where they are or what it looks like we might achieve next season, he'll either stay or he'll move on. So I've got a Portuguese person watching. I'm rooting for Wolves in the Premier League because I'm Portuguese and I like the system they're creating. Well, we've got an awful lot of Portuguese players in our team. I think it may or may not be true, but we've got more Portuguese players than Sporting Lisbon and Benfica and Porto. So no wonder. Vinagre for Doherty and swap Vinagre and Johnny around. That's something that I've spoken about a lot. I think that will happen eventually. Oh, excuse me. Because Doherty's been found out so often in that right wing back position, and Johnny being right sided or favours his right side more. I expect that to happen, or for us to sign a right back. I think Zinchenko might not go away in January still, but we'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't start Vinagre for this game, no, Dan, purely because he's going to be up against, if he's playing left back, who's it going to be? Sterling. I wouldn't put him into that game straight away. I think Vinagre, it made the team a bit more balanced when he came on against Everton. I was calling for him to be brought on against Leicester as well, and to see Johnny on the right, Vinagre on the left. But it didn't happen. Didn't quite happen. Made some other changes instead. Filifosu Aye is still at the club, I believe. He's in that bomb squad, who are just not able to move on anywhere. Yeah, I agree there about Barry Douglas, LJB10. Barry Douglas on free kicks. That's the only place where we've really missed him. Is that Moutinho had, and Tim Spears was really critical about Moutinho's free kicks. Was it? No, sorry, it wasn't Tim Spears. It was on the Fancast, and they were talking about the free kicks and how poor Moutinho's delivery was, and I completely disagree with that. I think his delivery was fine, but he's a right-footed player taking free kicks from what would be the left-footed position, and it just wasn't working. It wasn't Moutinho's fault necessarily. It was the balance in the squad that we haven't got that left-footed player to swing in a ball. Why do I think Leeds will get promoted and Barry Douglas will score a rocket against us on match day 1 next season? We'll see. I don't know. This isn't the Barry Douglas loving here. With thinking about how why was Barry Douglas sold, not who. What do I think of Jimenez so far? Alfredo Chavez. Amazing name. Are you Mexican? I know that Finners has had a lot of Mexican people watching his videos recently. Jimenez has been incredible so far. I think every Wolves fan who's watched him in the 2 games has been very impressed with the way that he's applied himself. He's been very... he never stops running. He's really, really eager. And he finds lots of space in the penalty area, and He's already scored 1 goal in the first 2 games. I'm expecting to score a few more soon. But yeah, I think it's good for him as well, because I know that he's played a lot of football from the bench, and he's not really had a spell in the first team. But he's going to get that at Wolves now. He's going to be he's going to be able to develop more. Thoughts on opinion on my nan's toes? Lovely. Right, a couple of things. Thoughts on Bonatini? Despite the early results, I still think we'll finish in the top 10. Bonatini's delivery was good against Villarreal. Got the assist for Boly. Yeah, that's right, from the free kick. But remember, that was an in-swinging corner. I'm a massive advocate for in-swinging corners or in-swinging free kicks. They've always got to be putting pressure on the goalkeeper, rather than when they're out swinging. It's sort of, you're aiming for the cluster of players that are in the middle there, rather than putting pressure on the goalkeeper. In my opinion, that's how I would be approaching free kicks. Right, thoughts on Bonatini? Bonatini, I think, was. I'm not going to be negative about him. I haven't read Petalengro. I haven't read his blog from today, but he's written a little piece on Bonatini and trying to encourage him and talk about how, I know that he's all about Kwan and all about positive energy, and that's what Bonatini needs at the moment. So we'll continue in that vein. I think that he was getting in the right places. I think that the chance that he missed on Saturday against Leicester, the near post, was a bit harder than was first thought, and that it looked on telly as well. He was in front of the near post, so it wasn't just a simple tap in. He had to, turn the ball past the guy, and he wouldn't. I don't think he would have beaten Schmeichel anyway. He had his near post covered. So, it's difficult. I think he needs an easy chance, a tap in or penalty. He's good at taking penalties, something like that, just to boost his confidence, get him back on track, and hopefully he'll be fine again, I think. Defending the defender that no longer plays for us. Jota, Jimenez, and Traore. I think Jota was a big disappointment last Saturday. I expect him to be a bit stronger and a bit better. And I think perhaps he was believing his hype a little bit as well before the game, or at the start of the season. I think everybody tipped him to do well. Lots of people were putting him in their fantasy teams. Lots of people were saying how good he was going to be and how much more space he was going to have. But he's been quite a disappointment at the moment. I think he's going to have to pick himself up. I think it was quite a bold move from Nuno to hook him off at halftime, because he had played badly, but for such a big player to take him off, it was a big statement for Nuno to make, and hopefully it works. Costa and Jota, I'd probably start both of them, I think, on Saturday against Man City, and bring Traore on for the last half an hour or so. Personally, I would, because Traore is more of an impact player, and I don't think he wasn't able to have that impact on Saturday because of the situation, and because of we were chasing the game, and bringing him on like that wasn't the best thing. I think if he'd have come on with 20 minutes to go at 1-0, we might have seen a different kind of player. Right, thoughts on Silva with his hat trick? Well, apparently Wolves were never actually in for Andre Silva, so that's, I think it's irrelevant, really. Ronaldo has scored, hasn't he, for Juventus? So that's about as relevant. Do you think there'll be any surprise names in the registered squad? Yaya Toure. Who's going down from the Premier League? Well, I tell you, one team for definite would be Huddersfield. I think they were absolutely atrocious last week against Manchester City. I don't know any of their players. I can't work out what they were trying to do last Sunday against Man City. It wasn't back last season they sort of shut up shop and they were able to get a point against Manchester City, but they just looked devoid of any sort of quality or anything. It just looked very, very weird. So yeah, Huddersfield will go down. Cardiff will go down because they haven't got much variation in how they play. I don't rate Warnock in the Premier League either, but that third place is up for debate. I think Arsenal. I'd love Arsenal to go down. I think it'd be hilarious. Let's see Fulham go down, Nick. I don't think Fulham will go down. I think Fulham will be okay. We have a good team, but if we don't get better at the back, we are going to struggle. Sorry, Doherty is not good enough for the Premiership, and we should have kept Douglas. Doherty has looked weak in the first couple of games, particularly on Saturday. He was very unlucky with the own goal. But there's a lot of. I keep on mentioning Tim Spears, but he's annoyed me a bit this week in his insistence that Doherty's done fine in these first two games. We saw him get torn apart by Walcott every time that he had the ball on in the first game, and then last week he was getting beaten every time by Damari Gray, and he just strikes fear into me. So, but in terms of Douglas, I think Johnny's an improvement on Douglas defensively. We're just lacking somebody who can take a free kick with their left foot. Thoughts on Vinagre? I've seen him for 20 minutes, 15 minutes at the end of the Everton game, but he looked better than he did back in January. And hang on a minute now, Hydro Pump. We'll come back to that in a minute. Vinagre. So I think he'll become an excellent player for Wolves in the next year. I think he's going to become an important part of our team, and he's going to be. I think the Portuguese football fans rate him quite highly in terms of what they expect from him, and that the whole of that under-19s team. So it's great to have somebody like that on our books permanently, and I will expect him next season, I think, to be our left wing back. I think, if not changing him into a more attacking player because he's so attacking minded. Just to come back to that point there, Hydro Pump made about everyone hating on Doherty, it's crazy. He's had one really bad game in 3 or 4 years. Lol. It's not strictly true. If you remember Bristol City away, not last season, the season before, he was atrocious in that game. Missed it. What tends to happen is if Doherty has a goal-scoring chance in the first couple of minutes and misses it, the rest of his game goes out the window. And that happened in that game. It happened again against Leicester last week. He's a confidence player, Doherty. And it just, when things aren't going his way, his head drops, his body language is so negative. It doesn't look good. And, that's what we want to see. A confident wing back getting up and down the wing. But there was times last week, just before he came off, in fact, where he was just making mistakes. The balls was bouncing off him. I don't know. It didn't. He had a poor game against Leicester. He was weak against Everton. So I would rather him play at right wing back against Manchester City on Saturday rather than Johnny moving over or Vinagre playing. I think, but it worries me thinking that they're going to have Benjamin Mendy and somebody else on that left-hand side, Aguero to deal with, Sane to deal with. It's going to be very, very difficult. We should have signed Callum Chambers from Arsenal. We spent too much time shopping abroad when there are players like Yannick Bolasie, I thought I was going to say Yannick Sagbo then, and Glenn Murray, who we could have signed. Well, can you really see Glenn Murray fitting into the team that we play? Cody, Bolly, Costa, Jota have all been bad so far. I don't think they've been bad. they've all made mistakes, and they've not been as good as they were against really poor teams last year in the Championship. That's to be expected. Would you park the bus against Manchester City? Cody said we'll attack them. Seems naive. From what we've heard from Nuno for the last 15 months, or for however long it's been, is that Wolves are going to play 3-4-3. We're going to keep possession. We're going to try and catch City on the break, and that's how we're going to play. There's no discussion really about it. It's going to be we're not going to leave ourselves open at the back because we don't overcommit when we go forward. There'll be Cody will stay back. You've got Bennett, who won't go much past the halfway line. Bolly, I worry about him running the ball too far forward and has been caught out there. But Man City play in a similar sort of way in that they soak up pressure and then burst forward. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I think I said yesterday in the video I made that we're going to have chances. The way that we play, we will have chances, and it's just about taking them. You know, if we could create the same number of chances that we did against Leicester, against Manchester City, we could end up winning the game 1-0. You know, it was just luck that was not on our side against Leicester. Man City are going to create more than Leicester did, but yeah, I don't know. There's a little part of me that thinks we could get something out of it. If you think back to the end of last season, I know it wasn't very often, but against Huddersfield they struggled to break them down. They ended up drawing that game. But there weren't many. There's not many times where you look back at Man City and say, "Oh, they didn't play really well then." But the games against Liverpool are the better of them in the Champions League games and the Premier League game at Anfield. So what have they got that Wolves could learn from? They've got Mo Salah, Firmino, and the other one, Sane. We've got pace in attack. They caught them on the break, but the breaks were rapid, and we don't do that, and that's why I think we're not going to get anything, because we don't break with enough velocity, and that's the key thing for me. But yeah, if you could all just drop a like on the video. We've only got 6 likes at the moment. Let's get that up to, let's see if we can get it up to 15 in the next 3 minutes. That'd be amazing. Corny Hawes could walk into our defence. I think we should start using him. He knows the Nuno playing style. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Corny Hawes, though. He just doesn't. He doesn't play. I don't know. He just doesn't fit into that. There was times last year where there was the chance for him to play, but he was picking Miranda instead or Bart instead, and he just doesn't like the look of him. Did I say Sane instead of Mane? Did I? Never mind. Who do you think would be the star performer apart from Neves? Well, so far it's been Ryan Bennett, hasn't it? Who do I think is going to be the star? I really rate Moutinho. I think Moutinho's really, really good at ticking the ball over, keeping it going. I think he's really underrated, and I think taking him out of the team and take that passing and that like clockwork nature out, I think you're really, really going to miss. Really going to miss it. So Moutinho, I think Jimenez as well. I think he's going to become a really good player. I think he's going to score 10+ goals for us this season. Yeah. English teams that stopped Man City: Huddersfield, Burnley, Wolves, Man U, of course. Liverpool, Crystal Palace. That's right. Anthony Knockaert took a whole season to adapt for Brighton. Patience needed with Jota and Costa. I'm not sure that Knockaert is. You could say that he's settled or adapted. I wouldn't say that he's. I mean, there weren't really many moments last year, but you are right. He was a player that excelled in the Championship and didn't do well. Didn't do well last season in the Premier League. Could Cavalier and Traore be our wide players eventually? I think they're too similar to play together. I think what will happen eventually is that one of them will start and the other one will the other one will come on, and we'll have the same sort of player throughout the whole 90 minutes. Then that's Ash Widely. Grab Van Dijk on a free. Kyle Walker in January and stick Lord Gladden up top. We should try Bonatini at right back. Nice. Sean Newton's watching. Is that the Sean Newton? Have I said that before? Yeah. So I don't know. It's gonna be really, really tough against Man City, and we could play the best game that we've ever played and still come away with 3-0 defeat. Just think about how good City are. It might be 0-0 at half time. It might be 0-0 after 70 minutes. But the way that they can just pick teams off, it could easily be 3-0. So I think Cav will go in January. Unfortunately, he's fourth choice behind Jota, Costa, and Adama. It's interesting to think what will happen now with the injury that he's got. It's a little bit of a concern, I think, that he's not going to be playing much now, and if that gives Traore the possibility to get his place confirmed in the team, then it could be that Cavaleiro goes. But I mean, if we get 10 million for him, 12 million, I think that's a reasonable return on a player that we signed for 7 million. And we've had 3 seasons out of 3.5 by the time January comes. So just draw your attention to a couple of results here in the Championship. With 10 minutes to go, Aston Villa 1, Brentford 1. And with 25 minutes to go, Stoke City at home 0, Wigan 3. Wigan 3-0 up. 2 goals from Will Grigg, 1 from Massey. Stoke are really, really struggling. Very, very funny indeed that that's happening there. Personally, I thought Stoke were going to do really well at the beginning of this season. I haven't watched them in pre-season. I tipped them to win the Championship. It shows how much I know. Play Norris in goal. He kept a clean sheet in the last season. I can't see that happening again. Not after his performance. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but usually, I mean, for the last 20 odd years that I've seen Wolves play, and then when they come out to warm up at the beginning of the season, beginning of the game, you have the goalkeeper and then you have the number 2 goalkeeper who warm each other up. But we're bringing out all 3 goalkeepers at the moment. It's very weird. Can we just get one more like just to get it up to 20, please? It's frustrating me that it's on 19. Thank you. Patricio up top, Ruddy in goal, get some height in the box. What does everybody think as well about Patricio? Because I think he's been amazing. 20 likes there, thank you. That's better. Yes, Oliver, exactly right. I don't understand that either. Tim Spears saying about how Ruddy controls his box better than Patricio. There were times last season where the balls were coming into the box and Ruddy would drop. There was a few times where he dropped the ball. Remember the Norwich game? Not just a mistake. That little spell of games, the Norwich, the Fulham. Who else was there in that little spell? QPR, that game. There's quite a few games where he was making mistakes and dropping the ball and putting his defence under pressure. Was Patricio? I mean, for a newly promoted team, I know that he's conceded 4 goals, but none of those 4 goals have been his fault. You could argue that perhaps the first goal against Everton, he could have organised his defence a little bit better, but there was nothing in the second goal that he could have done. That was Neves was to blame for letting Richarlison turn in. But then you've got the goals, Cody and Doherty between them to blame for the first goal. Jota then and Cody for the second goal against Leicester. But when he was called upon to make a save, he's made a save. A couple of tidy saves against Everton, a couple of tidy saves against Leicester. That moment where he came out to collect the ball against Leicester, I've never seen anybody come out so quickly as a goalkeeper. And And if you watch him carefully, when they're organising for a free kick or for a corner, he doesn't stand on his line and shout out like Ruddy does. He runs out 10, 15 yards, shouting at the wall and everything and telling them exactly what to do. So I don't agree with Tim Spiers that there's any sort of problem with Patricio in the box. I do think that Tim Spiers has got a pro English player or pro pre-Fosun player bias. So yeah, it's I really like Patricio. I think Cody and Doherty need to improve more than the Express and Star is saying. And that's what needs to improve with our defence, I think, really. That is obviously a joke, isn't it? Rui was in the club shop today. He was also buying ice cream. If anybody saw Rui Patricio's Instagram story, he was buying an ice cream van. Ice cream from an ice cream van. Which I thought was lovely. Brentford beating Aston Villa 2-1. Norwich 2-0 up now against Preston. Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 up against Millwall. What does everybody think about that as well? Obviously, Sheffield Wednesday in the League Cup next Tuesday, and there have been a lot of people taking advantage of. Well, it's only £10 for the ticket. They've got no intention of going, but they want the points for tickets in the future. Are people okay with that, or are people? I mean, they're not going to sell out of tickets for the Sheffield Wednesday game, but they've sold something like 1,200, but there's probably going to end up being 600, 700 people there, if that. What do people think? What do people think about that? Also, let's see if we can get up to 30 likes now in the next 2 minutes. That'd be lovely. Thank you, please. 55 people on the stream now. I think the most successful stream was what's it? the one just before transfer deadline day. I think people must have thought they had inside knowledge, but I don't. Right, points should be added when your ticket is scanned. That's an interesting idea there, Dan. They're difficult to police, I think, because so for example, maybe I shouldn't say this on YouTube, but we as a family buy 3 tickets for an away game, and it might not be the 3 people who go to that game, but we don't sell them on or anything. But so it might not be the person who travels all the way to the game gets the points, but I don't know. It's annoying, but if they sell them on for the same price, then it's fair enough. I don't think the people are people selling them on. I'm not quite sure. People have just bought them just to get the 10 points to be higher up the points thing for games like Man United. That's coming up, isn't it? Man United, Crystal Palace is the next away game. Brighton. Not looking forward to Brighton. Is that in half term? End of half term. I've always thought as well with the points that you should get points, loyalty points for buying things from the club shop, for using the club travel as well, and for things like that. You should have you should get more points. I like Spears, but his bias towards British players is crazy. He defends them because they give him 90% of his interviews. That's a good point as well. You very rarely see a scoop where Spears has been able to talk to Neves or to Jota or Bolly or any one of the foreign players. Yeah. Must say though, along with my Wolves, you're my favourite Wolves place for info. Thank you, Joe Good. I think unlike another institution on Facebook, I don't pretend like I've got anybody in the know. This is just my ideas, what I've got to say, and if people are interested. I mean, I can't believe there's 52 people watching me now, 24 people who likes it. Let's see if we can get that up to 30, guys. Come on. Yeah, I'm not. Look, I do this for a bit of fun. I love it. Some Wolves fans travel miles to games should get points for that. I think there should be some sort of reward if you go to 10 games in a row, home and away. If you go to, there should be some sort of reward for doing a number of games in a row, or like I know that they've given free travel away before to like Norwich and Swansea last season, but there should be some sort of reward for like that game last year, Sheffield Wednesday on a Friday night at Christmas time. There should have been some sort of, well done. We'll give you twice the amount of loyalty points for that game because it was amazing. It's, I don't know. Parminder, your videos are top classic. Forget the Express and Star. If only I could have access to the players. If only. Fan fiction of Spears and Judah. No, thank you. No, thank you. A bit early, but what do you think will happen in January transfer window? I think there's going to be one big signing. I think, and it'll be a wing back. If it's not Zinchenko, it'll be another one. Hate 12:30 kickoffs. Yes, me too. It means having to leave, and particularly on a Saturday. I don't mind so much on a Sunday, but Saturday I play 5-a-side. Finish at 10 o'clock, so then I have to leave. I'll have to leave here at like 10:30 or 11 to get there for kickoff. It's just horrible. Don't like it. And as well, the 5:30 kickoff I didn't mind so much because not that I go to the pub or anything before the game, but lots of Wolves fans had been out from early that morning all the way through to 5:30, and it was the loudest I'd ever heard the Wolves ground. The atmosphere was incredible before the game. It's not going to be like that on Saturday because even though it's Man City and it's a big game, it's going to be flatter because people have been out for less time, and I don't know. Watford gave out new shirts for anyone who attended all their away games. That's true, but I bet they only had to give out about 5. I hate laughing at my own jokes. Well done, you silly boy. I was expecting a good cup run, good cup home game, not Sheffield Wednesday. Could have been worse, couldn't it? Sunderland could have won that game. We could have been all the way up there again. I think with the regionalised draws as well, we could have had Albion or Villa or Blues or Warsaw or Burton. They'd have been much, much tasty games. I was really hoping for the Albion, although they've started the season quite well and we've been a little bit slower to get going. I think it would have been a really great game anyway. What do you think, Wolves? Twitter is going to moan about after this week's match at the length of Nuno's beard. It'll be apparently, I haven't seen this, but apparently somebody moaned that the floodlights were too light. The new floodlights were too light. Which I've never heard anything as mad as that. But yeah, what were they moan about? They'll moan because an England player is going to score after we've clapped them. Kyle Walker will score after we've just clapped them. Or there'll be a fight in the South Bank because somebody was clapping Walker as he scores. Something, there'll be something crazy. Yeah, De Bruyne is still out. More than anything, I'm a football fan, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Man City play. Now, I know you shouldn't say that as a Wolves fan, but obviously I want Wolves to win. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how Manchester City play, and Guardiola and David Silva and Aguero, all those top players playing at Molineux. I think that's why we got promoted, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So for De Bruyne to not be playing, I think it's disappointing in a way, but yeah, I've seen him play already, so I don't care. There's some people who didn't go to that Man City away game that didn't get to see him, but I don't care. I think there's a really, really touching moment between De Bruyne and Conor Ronan after Ronan had marked him for most of that game. For the end of the 90 minutes and then all through extra time. They really worked hard, and Ronan went and asked for De Bruyne's shirt. He gave it to him, and then De Bruyne asked for Ronan's shirt, and he was taken aback. I thought it was a really lovely moment. That was it wasn't shown in the documentary, but there was quite a big bit on Wolves in that Man City documentary, which I think was really it just frustrated me again that Brighton and Bacari missed those chances. But yeah, people moaned about the floodlights, the fireworks. It'll probably be because Silver Lining's been sung too loud. I know. Sorry, my friend disagrees. Should have over the second goal against Everton. Other than that, yeah, he's good. Who's that? Are you talking about Patricio there, are you? Win, lose or draw, we'll always support Wolves. Absolutely. Bado. Do you like Boxing Day games? Most can't travel if you live outside the area, like London. Yeah, that's what put me up. I would rather a Boxing Day game at home, because you don't have to go out of bed then, do you, on Boxing Day? I didn't go to Millwall last season, partly because it was my first Christmas back home for a while. There's that. There was a couple of other things. But then it came to like Christmas Eve or the 23rd or something. I thought, do you know what? I really want to go. And there's tickets available. There's no coach travel. Couldn't get a train, so it was annoying. And if I'd have gone to that game, I'd have qualified for the gold away season ticket. So that'll learn me. So this year, at the moment, I don't want to go to Fulham because I know we'll lose, but we'll see. Do I watch 4-4 Tunes occasionally? I think did I watch one this morning? I think with all the managers in the Premier League being interviewed, but no, not as much as I used to. No, I don't know who Bottle of Bleach is, but he's got some very interesting things to say today. Fulham was a good day out. It was all right last season. Not the best result though. I don't like the neutral end. I like the ground. I like the fact that it's old. It's wooden. I like the outside that stand, the old stand. Yeah, somebody's going to moan about the way that he wears his shirt. Bennett wears his shirt all tucked in. Can we get 2 more likes? Can we get up to 30 likes, please, ladies and gents? While I sip this squash, can we have 2 more likes? See how long that's going to. Come on. Guessing there's no third kit. Well, Diogo Jota. We've got 30 likes now. Hooray. Diogo Jota and Leo Bonatini both went up to Manchester today. It was on Jota's Instagram story that they were going to Adidas for some sort of photo shoot. So there could be something in the pipeline there. Perhaps a third kit, or could just be a general Adidas photo shoot. We don't have to have a third kit. Personally, I don't think we don't really need to wear our away kit that often either. We shouldn't have worn it on Saturday. That's the first time I think since Bristol City away that we've worn an away kit in a competitive game. So I was a bit disappointed, really. Cardiff are going to love those 0-0 games. I went to a wedding last week in Wales, and I said to somebody, Cardiff City are not going to score a goal this season. After 2 games, that's right so far. So we'll have to see. But they're going to struggle, but not as much as Huddersfield. Watching Huddersfield the other day, they were absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dire. I know they've had a really tough start. Chelsea, Man City, you can't get much harder than that. But they, I don't know, they are going to struggle. I've got a feeling we will do good against the top 6 teams in the league, but we'll struggle against the lesser sides. I think we'll do well against some of them. Like Arsenal at home. When's that? That's November, isn't it? No. Oh, March. I've got them away in November. Yeah. Arsenal at home, I think we'll do well. Chelsea, I can't see us beating them. Liverpool, I can't see us beating them either. City, I don't know. We can get a few points against the top 6. They're not the games that are going to decide where our season is. It's, as you said, it's against the lesser teams. And we've got a nice spell of games in September and October against teams where we're going to start picking up some points now, and then and that's where we'll decide where we finish. Huddersfield versus Cardiff is going to be a boring game. Feel sorry for the fans. Do you know what? I can't wait. That game will be on telly, I guarantee. I don't know when it is, but it's gonna, if that game's on telly, somebody's getting sacked because it shouldn't be allowed. Should not be allowed. Bennett versus Salah. Can you imagine? How will he cope? Old Mo, the Egyptian king. Would you rather smash City this weekend 3-0 or go to Old Trafford and smash them 5-0? An excellent question, Shiv. I would, only because where I work, there are a lot of Manchester United fans because they're not proper football fans, and they I would love to go there and beat them. Will Tim Nash ever reveal who he thought we were? No, he won't. No, he hinted after deadline day that he may talk about it, but not seen anything to suggest who it might be. I can't. There's no point. There's no point coming out. But, and it may be somebody that it may be someone that's still in the pipeline. Perhaps we don't know. Love your channel. I think we need a win to boost confidence. Then we'll be okay. Who do you think our first win will be against? I've got a sneaky feeling. Somebody said as well about, I think it's Fez09 or something. He's just said that if Wolves beat Man City, he's going to eat some pants or something outside the Billy Wright. Didn't quite catch what he said. I've got a sneaky feeling that Wolves could get something out of the game on Saturday. I would be amazed, and it would be one of the biggest shocks in our history. But you've seen in the past, we beat United in that one season that we were up in it before. We had that one season where we beat Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool away, Man United at home. We had all those wins. So it's something that Wolves do. We rise for the occasion. The fans get up for it. It'll be something that, even though Man City are one of the most amazing teams the Premier League has ever seen, they will not be used to the atmosphere. They won't be used to coming up against the newly promoted team with as many good players that we've got. So it wouldn't surprise me. But I think our first win is definitely going to come in the month of September, either against West Ham or against Burnley or against Southampton or against Man United. I think any of those games in September we could win. Somebody's saying about Mick McCarthy. When we win on the weekend, I'd love for Nuno to repeat the celebrations from the Cardiff away game last season. Was very interesting to watch. The Wolves 4, Leicester 3 game from 2003. If you think about that game, right? Think about Wolves were 3-0 down and they ended up winning. Dave Jones at the end of the game turns to Mickey Adams, the Leicester manager, shakes his hand. And that's it. He walks down the tunnel. He's such a dour man, Dave Jones. But can you imagine Nuno if Wolves ever did that, 3-0 down and won 4-3, he would be crowd surfing the South Bank or something. Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be a game this season when Nuno was absolutely ballistic and bolts down the touchline or something. I'd love it to be at Old Trafford in a couple of weeks' time, just sort of mirroring when Mourinho did that for Porto all those years ago. I think that'd be lovely. 9 points in September. Woo-hoo. Do you mean points? I think it's when Wolves win, we'll have a little bit of a run where things go for us, and we get a bit, and we work out how to play in the Premier League, and we work out how to win a game in the Premier League and how different it is. I think it will come eventually. Yeah, but yeah, I think it might take until September, but I think we've got a lot of winnable games there in September. Right, a few final scores for you boys and girls. Villa came back to draw 2-2 against Brentford. Blackburn 2, Reading 2, Norwich 2, Preston 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Millwall 1. Bolton are beating Birmingham at the moment, but that's in stoppage time. They're still playing, and Stoke are still 3-0 down at home to Wigan, but that's still got a few minutes left. They have had Ashley Williams sent off as well. Ha 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 ha. No derby match for Wolves this year. No, not in the league. I don't know whether Is there still a north-south draw for that? For the next round, I'm not sure. 36 likes. See you all at the Molineux Saturday. See you, Fez. Wolves to play an 8-0-2 formation. Adama and Jimenez up front. But you're missing out our best players. Missing out. What's his name? Neves. Coutinho. Aaron Mayo. Tom, are you going to West Ham away? I am a Wolves supporter along with 30 strong Wolves gang from Essex. I'm a massive fan and love watching you. Thank you very much. I'm also a teacher. How to see you at West Ham. Unfortunately, I'm sitting in the corporate section for the West Ham game with Karen Brady, etc. And the Golden Sullivan boys. But yes, if I do see you, I will say hello. You got a flag, Essex Wolves flag. Oliver, I'm a primary school teacher, so everything. That's why I've got so much time now for the next 2 weeks, which I'll be trying to enjoy with a bit of a lingering thing in the back of my head. No, Shiv. No, I'm not moving up. It's my uncle. Unfortunately. Man of the people I am, I would much rather be in the ground, in the stand with the Wolves fans than I will be for the rest of the season. Yeah. Can we get up to 40 likes, boys and girls? 40 likes. It's 35 at the moment. Can we get that up to 40? Right. Let's have a look. Wolves team for Saturday then. Are there going to be that many changes? Just listen out for a Wolves fan with a disgusting Essex accent. Do you say Wolves we? Wolves we? Check out Hugo's corporate just to show off. Rubbish view at West Ham, miles from the pitch. That's why I'm sitting in the corporate box, because it surely must be good. Must be good from there. Right, so Patricio in goal, no doubt about that, is there? The only person saying about how he doesn't command his box is Tim Spears. And Tim Spears strikes me as somebody who's never played football before. So Patricio in goal, Cody at the back. But I think Cody's days are numbered. I can't see him lasting the whole season. I could be wrong. We'll see. Shiv says no change until 65th minute. Troy for Costa, and that's it. Dan Wallace says Patricio Bolli, Cody Bennett, Vinagre, Johnny, Neves, Moutinho, Adama, Jota, Jimenez. A couple of changes there for Dan. Patricio, Doc Bennett, Cody Bolli, Johnny Neves, says the stud George, and that's it. He hasn't got any forward players. And pack the defence, and that'll be it. Lovely. Would be funny if Tim Spears was lurking in this stream. Well, do you know what? I found it very funny that after doing these for, they've done 2 now. This is my 6th. So after doing 4 of these, all of a sudden, the Express and started doing one on a Monday. I am Tim Spears. Is that going to start happening like Spartacus now? I am Tim Spears. I'm Tim Spears. I'm Tim Spears. I've got nothing against Tim Spears. I think he does a decent job. Let's say that. Nuno does watch my videos, Brian. He does. Hi, Nuno. If you're watching, come and say hello on Saturday if you see me, right? What was I talking about then? Oh, Dan Wallace. Are you Spears or are you Nuno? Who knows? Right. So I would love Tim Spears, if you are watching. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. But how I did 4 of these, and then all of a sudden, Express and Star every Monday, 12 to 1, are doing one. That's fine. I've got no problem with doing it at a different time. Just don't do it now, right? I'm not the first person to do it either. I'm the first person to do it on YouTube for Wolves properly. There are Facebook groups that do it, but not as good as this. Yes, what's happening at the back? think they're getting paid too much. We always need to keep the concentration, not compensation. What are you talking about? Tim Spears is like a dodgy car salesman. Bennett's been our best centre back so far. You get excited when you see Spears. What? Tim Spears walked past me the other day at Leicester with his little rucksack on. I said to him, "All right, Tim." He said, "All right, mate." Ruben Neves to City, no chance. No chance. Spears' flag in Leicester was godly. I saw it at half time because obviously people were standing up all through the game, and I could see people pointing at the back of the stand and laughing. And I looked. It was weird. I don't think it wasn't quite just Tim Spears. I think it was Tim Spears and some friend of the person whose flag it was, and it was weird. A weird looking flag. A very weird looking flag. Sace to Nottingham. Where have you heard that from, Dan? Patricio is the 4th best keeper in the league. Yeah, I still haven't been through my team, have I? So we're going to have Patricio in goal, Cody at the back. But I think Cody's days are numbered. Bolly left centre back, Bennett right centre back. Then this is purely because of experience. We're going to have Doherty at right back, although his days are numbered as well. Left back is going to be Johnny. But again, I would like to see him playing right back. Neves and Moutinho. Then the front three is where it's going to change. Jimenez is going to start up front. I'm saying it's going to change, but I would actually probably start Costa anyway on the right-hand side because I think he had a raw deal being hooked off at halftime against Leicester. I start him, I start Jota, and I would hope that taking them off at halftime has given them a rocket. Because, yeah. Have you ever thought about interviewing fans after the game? I have thought about it, but I'm still not confident enough with the camera doing stuff outside. So no, I wouldn't do it now. I know that I've done it with Talking Wolves once, and they do it quite often. I know that, in fact, let's talk about that for a minute. After the game on Saturday, Dave Azzopardi from Talking Wolves was interviewing some fans outside of the game, and somebody who Dave tweeted about after the game, during last week at some point, saw him, went up to him and grabbed his microphone, which they're not cheap. It's a Zoom sound recorder that costs about £100 or so. Picked it up and threw it across the street. Now I haven't seen the footage or anything, but that's perhaps I should have gone into a little bit more detail at the end of my review on Saturday. But just there's if you can't take a little bit of banter on Twitter, there's no need to bring it then into the game or after the game. And when you see somebody making content, a lot of it I think is probably out of jealousy, and that Dave's worked hard to get 8,000-9,000 subscribers on his own channel, and now nearly 2,000 subscribers on his second channel, his Wolves channel. It's jealousy. When you've got 10,000 people who follow and you, it's not easy. It takes a long time to do so. It's yeah, Shiv, I agree. I won't say that word because I know that there's children that perhaps watch this, but yeah, I'm not. I think probably the majority of you lot watching, you're all very, very. I've got quite a mature subscriber base, which is very lucky for me, and you're all very, very, very. I don't know. You all seem like lovely people. I could be wrong. You all seem like, if you saw, and nobody's come up to me at at the games and said anything nasty to me. So I just hope that the majority of people, if they saw something like that happen, would stand up for the people who were there. Shiv, please give it a rest. Who signed your shirt in the background? Oh, let me show you. I'll tell you a funny story about this shirt, actually. So this shirt, back in January or February, the head teacher of the school that I work in came to me and said, "Tom, is this worth anything?" And I said, "You know what? I'll give you £200 for that shirt right now." Right? And she said, "Oh, we'll raffle it off, or we'll put it for silent auction or something." I said, "Okay, fine, but I am going to win it." And she said, "Okay, fine." So we went up on there's a community breakfast where all the parents and stuff get invited to school, and they were selling tickets for 50p, I think it was, or £1 perhaps, for a strip. And I took about 30 quid, 30 quid into school, 40 quid. I spent 30 quid. They raised about £90 for the shirt, and I had a third of the tickets and managed to win. I'd have been very, very annoyed, but I'd already sounded up a couple of people who had tickets and said, "Oh, I'll give you 150 quid for that shirt. If you win, give it to me. I'll give you 150 quid for it." So, but in the end, I won it. I was delighted. So it's all of last season's team are on there, and it is genuine. I've got a little somewhere. Where is it? There, look. Official merch, signed merch, little number and signature on there saying that it's genuine. Also something I'm quite proud of. There's two things that, well, I don't know if I mentioned on the channel yet. Shiv, I know. I don't know if I mentioned on the channel yet, but I bought a house back at the beginning of June, and it's just taken ages and ages and ages to go through. But there's a couple of things that I want framed for my house. I've got all these little bits here, so hopefully in a couple of months' time, when I'm in my new place, there'll be a proper room and a proper background, etc. So this is what I thought we were going to show a tough. These are, so I want that framed. That shirt I want framed. I need to go, if anybody knows, in Chapel Ash, there's it's called Creative Framing. Dave the Frame, I think he's on Twitter. And there's every away ticket from last season as well. And I want these framed as well to put somewhere in the house. There's some very, very good memories here. 21 away games I went to last year. Some that you'd rather forget. And then there's some like that, Middlesbrough, Cardiff, and Bolton. Those three in a row. They're the ones to remember. That one, I think the less said about that one, the better. Sunderland. But yeah, I want that pride of place because I had quite a difficult year last year, and these were what kept me going at some points. Worst looking away ticket. Let me have a look. Appreciate all you guys who do Wolves vlogs. Love Dazzling Dave, yourself, and Finners. Yeah, they're all very, very good. They are. Great idea. Thank you, Dan. Wicked. Got all my away season tickets from Inside some Wolves playing Russian dolls I got from Prague. Have you done the 92? No. Well done, mate. We did the same at school, but instead it was assigned by a Marty of Leicester. Oh. Have you noticed that Jimenez can shoot from distance? He can. Yeah, there was that one shot in the first half last week against Leicester. Just hit the post, and that's another thing that with luck and Wolves hit the post and came back and hit Schmeichel. Had it been at the other end with us, it'd have hit Patricia on the back of the head and gone in. So yeah, somebody just asked me what was the worst looking away ticket from last year. Just having a quick look through now. Preston's is a bit old-fashioned there. You see that? It's alright then. Don't mind that. So can Neves. Can Neves shoot from distance though? Can he? I don't like Cardiff's. I don't like Cardiff's. They've had the same ticket now for a couple of, I don't know if it's the same this season though, but they've got old players on their tickets. But yeah, I don't really look at them. Once I'm in the ground, they go in my pocket, and that's it. Have I done? Somebody asked me if I've done the 92. I bet I've done. I think I counted it up at the beginning of last season, and I can't remember what it was. I did tweet about it last season. I think it was probably. I don't know, probably done about 50 maybe. I think I've seen something like, I can't remember what it was, about 60 of the 92 teams play. But obviously at Molineux and stuff, as well as away. Can you do the Dele Alli chat? Well, that thing. Is that it? Somebody will clip that now, won't they? Thoughts on Warnock saying Solbakken is better than Virgil van Dijk? He didn't say that, did he? That is just the typical Warnock thing to try and get everybody wound up. But if he's like he's just an old bloke, and everybody's like, oh, okay. Would you drop Bennett on Saturday? No chance. Dendoncker. It's going to be interesting to see who Dendoncker comes in for, because I think everybody sort of expected it to be that right centre back. But yeah, Leicester and West Ham are the only teams I haven't seen in the whole football league. You've never seen Leicester or West Ham play. You've been a Wolves fan. They're teams that we've played on a fairly regular basis over the last 10 years. Cody for I think quite a lot of people are saying now Cody for Dendoncker. So yeah. Right. Last couple of minutes. I know I've gone over a bit longer than usual. Let's have your score predictions then for Saturday, 12:30, Man City at home. Can I have goal scorers as well? Wolves fan had also been to Shrewsbury games due to being a local team and being dragged there. I think is that the case for most Shrewsbury fans to get dragged there? Nobody actually wants to go to Shrewsbury, do they? It is past my bedtime. Right, come on then, bring it on. Let's see if we can get to 50 likes as well in this last couple of minutes. I'll go up to 1 hour and 10 minutes, so we've got another 2 minutes and 1 second left. Hit me with your predictions, please, for the game against Man City. 0-0, 3-1 to Wolves. Give me your scores as well, please. Wolves 1, Manchester City 1 from Mitchell Higginson. We've had Nick Muller as well, so 3-1 to Wolves. 3-3, says Wolverhampton's Wanderers. Zane, hello. Why do you always come on at the end? Hello. What's the score going to be? Man City against Wolves. 2-1, Wolves. Jota the Mexican. Do you mean Jota and the Mexican? Man City 3, Pants 0. All right, Fez, thanks. Nathan Jones 1-0. Who's going to score? Put these scores in there as well, please. Parminda 3-1 Wolves. Neves, Jimmy, and Jota. Wolves 1, Man City 2. Brian Jimenez, Aguero times 2. 2-2. Alex says Master Shred. Wolves 1, City 1. Shiv, Cheeky 2-1 Wolves. Jota Silva. Jota Silva. Johnny Cheeky tapping in the 86th minute. Bolly and Silva. John Robinson 2-1. Bennett bicycle kick from 49 yards out. Go and have a sit down now. Nathan. 7-0 to Wolves. Willie Bolly double hat trick and Bart goal. Zayn Malik 3-0 Man City. You're probably right there, Zayn. Andy Smith. I'm turning my downstairs toilet into a wolf shrine. It's the only room the missus will let me have. Oh, Andy. Wolves 6, Man City 5. Bar 92nd minute volley. I'll take a point. That's ticking me. I don't know. I think I've got a downstairs toilet in my new house. I don't know what that's going to be yet. I think I'm thinking of a Like there's little things that the kids have given me from school. And I always joke that I'm going to put it in the downstairs toilet, but I think I actually will. 4-3 Wolves last minute winner. A lot of goals. I'm putting Gary Dean in my dream team this week. Oh, the stud George. Who are you taking out? Aguero? Because Aguero's not going to score the weekend, is he? Bath goal. If that happens, I will get a crouch top. Johnny tapping in the 10th minute, defend for 80. What are you a teacher? Yes, Mitchell. Yes, we've had a little discussion about that. Can't see if we can get up to 50 likes. I've gone over for a little bit more. West Brom toilet seat downstairs. There was somebody I used to play cricket with who had a special towel or flannel for when they cleaned their back passage, and it was an Albion towel because they couldn't bring themselves to buy a Wolves towel. I'm a primary school teacher, Mitchell. Louis C 1-0 Jota last minute winner. Lots of people going for last minute winners. Lots of people going for last minute winners. Going to put some Cardiff fans in my dream. Sorry, Cardiff players in my dream team. Jota isn't physical enough for the Premier League. Yeah. Huddersfield 8, Cardiff 2. What a game that'll be. Are you joking with you? You're not going to put Cardiff players in your team? Oh, okay. Go on, 4 more likes and then I'll get off. Wolves 9, City 0. Lots of very, very positive predictions here. Love that. Good night, Mitchell. You mean Huddersfield 0, Cardiff 0? Yeah, there's not going to be any goals there. 3 more likes. Go on, then I'll clear off. Yeah, I never do predictions, but I think it doesn't hurt for this game, does it? Because it's a free hit. I think Wolves are going to surprise everybody. And West Brom refused me a credit card. No joke. Boing boing championship. Huh. I'm going to say Wolves 1, Manchester City 0. I think, let's say, yeah, go on, let's say that. Bottle of bleach. I've got to. I'm feeling very tired. Yeah, let's hide that message to the stud George. Let's not do that. Let's not talk like that, please. Scorer, it's going to be somebody. Do you know what? Leo Bonatini. In fact, I'm so confident. Let's find out what the odds are of that happening. Wolves 1-0, Leo Bonatini to score from a penalty. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Can you imagine the scenes? So Wolves are 9-1 to win. Anyway, Wolves 1-0. First goal scored. Leo Bonatini's 14-1 to score. Hey, kids, gonna make you a lot of money here. Oh, you can't have that as double. So Wolves to win 1-0 is 25-1. Bonatini to score is 14-1. What's Bolly to score the first goal? Let me see. He's not on here. Hang on. Willy Bolly 80-1. Hi all and hi old Golden Black. Hi Darren. I'm just signing off, unfortunately. £100 on it. Yeah. Right. So here there's a couple of. This is for the first goal scorer. So Raul Jimenez 11-1, Bonatini 14-1, Jota 14-1, Costa 18-1, Bright Enabakare for some reason 18-1, Neves 22-1, Traore 22-1, Gibbs White 22-1, Moutinho 33-1, Sace 50-1, Doherty 50-1, Dendoncker 66-1, Vinagre 66-1, Johnny 80-1. Bart 80-1, Bolly 80-1, Cody 80-1, Bennett 100-1, Courtney Hawes 100-1. Let me just read through this last couple of comments and then I'll be off. Sorry, Darren. You can, once I've finished this, you can go back and watch it from the beginning. Yeah, if you Wolves should run a 352 with Dendoncker as the CDM and Neves and Moutinho and Adama with. Yeah, I would like to see us playing 3 midfield, I think, as well. Never sounds a tasty bet. When I bet, my team always lose. Yeah, I never ever bet on Wolves. Stick a cheeky 20p on Bright. Good night. 50 likes. 50 likes. Getting to 50 likes. 50 likes. Getting there. What's your score? I've just given my score prediction. 1-0. I said 1-0. Bonatini to score. Thank you very much. Thank me all later when it comes in. Oh, bottle of bleach. Just wait until next week. Wait until next week. Every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I'll be here. Right. It's been a pleasure, ladies and gents, as always. I'll see you again next Wednesday. I'll see you Friday for a preview of the game. I tried, if anybody knows Esteemed Company, the Man City version of me, asked him if he could send a little clip previewing the game. It's difficult though because we all know all their players, don't we? It's very, very difficult. But anyway, hopefully that'll be up on Friday, then a review of the game on Saturday. Please, if we see Zinchenko, let's boo. If anybody's watched that documentary, he's a lovely little boy. He had a very difficult time in Ukraine. Anyway, we'll talk about that in my preview. Anyway, lovely chatting. Like, subscribe, etc. And yeah, bye.